Hello everybody, I am Technovoid, your host and human gun, and with me is Hamsterwings, your favorite Pokemon analyst.
Hi.
We are here today with the Season 6 team overview. For those of you who are new here, since we have a lot of new faces this season, we like to, before the season starts, take a look at everybody's teams, sort of do a quick discussion, quick this time at least, on how everybody's compositions looks like, sort of things to look out for if you're using the team, things to look out for if you're going against it. What we used to do is we used to go through every single pick one by one. This took us like 3 to 4 hours every time. This time we will just be doing a full review of the 16 teams, so hopefully it's a little bit shorter. I know some of you like the longer videos, but I think this is easier on everybody.
Yeah, we won't get a headache this way.
Yeah, it's true. Well, we might anyways. But
it's possible.
We're just going to go ahead and order. So first up, we have one of our new players, Burnt with the Mothership.
Yeah, I mean, the mother being Kangaskhan.
Dude, this
right
team,
there.
I mean, Dragapult Grimmsnarl is such a tried and true combo. We have seen this combo in several seasons prior. It's always so threatening.
Yeah, it's a good start to the fantasy core. Though Dragapult, I mean, you don't really think of it as a switch in, right? But still, it's a very good like dragon attacker, especially now that it actually has a physical dragon move because it can Terra Ghost.
Yes, Dragapult is a Terra Captain here. I think very solid pick. Honestly, the Mega Kangaskhan, I don't think we didn't see it last season, but we saw it in some of the off-season stuff. And this thing is terrifying. It's only been legal for a little while, and it's very good.
Yep.
In terms of the Bs and Cs, the only B tier that really stands out to me particularly is Primarina. I think a lot of teams could have really benefited from Primarina this season, so I'm surprised it took so long to get drafted.
Yeah, Primarina is always one of those tried and true B tiers.
It's very solid.
But I really think people were, looking at those new toys. Such as Farigiraf there.
Absolutely. In terms of C tiers, though, Leavanny, I'm not convinced is going to do anything. The other three here, though, are just such fire C tiers.
Yeah, I don't see Leavanny doing anything. Like, it's there for the core, but I don't think a grass bug member can really like switch into anything.
It doesn't have like a role, right? Like, it's not very good at anything. So I'm curious to see what Burnt's options with Leavanny end up being. I'm guessing it's probably not going to come much though.
Sticky web.
I guess so. Yeah, I think otherwise Burnt, I believe, has some doubles experience prior. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe they do. I think especially the top three on the team kind of show that. Immediately jumping for that Mega Kang, I think might be from some previous experience.
Yeah, seeing the first pick of the entire draft be Mega Kangaskhan, there's no screwing around in this one.
Absolutely. So definitely something to look out in Timer. If you do you have any recommendations for anybody fighting Burnt here?
Definitely bring your Kanga counters.
For sure.
Covert Cloak is a lifesaver against this team, because Kanga's gonna be like chunking you with those fake outs. So you really want to have a reliable Covert Cloak user. Fantastic new item that's just been added this gen.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a little hard to play Steel types into him because of the Magna Zone. But Steel isn't super good against this team anyway. There's other answers to Grimmsnarl, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, let's jump on into Ape University, which is Juice's team. Juice, we know for a fact, has some doubles experience. Leading off with the Mence here, Mega Mence. Mega Mence has admittedly had something of a troubled history in TDD in the past, but I trust.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen again.
Yeah, I think Heatran is just such a good pick, especially when combined with that Mega Mence. You can tell, obviously, that Juice has some, doubles, some VGC experience, thanks to the Annihilate Mousehold core.
Yep.
I'm not convinced the Terra on Annihilate is necessarily going to be like amazing. How do you feel about that?
I'm not sure who he would have Terra'd instead.
Good point.
Just based on everything else here. So I think for what it is, I think Annihilate's good. But I am worried that it will be a rude awakening to realize that Terra Annihilate is nothing special in Nat decks.
Yeah, I think its base typing is already so good that like I think you run into it in VGC and it's a lot more terrifying, whereas here, I mean, obviously you can't Terra the Elements, unfortunately, because it is a Mega. You cannot do both. But yeah, other than that, I mean, nothing else really needs it that much. Obviously, Annihilate Mousehold is very good. Looking at these C tiers, I think...
this is like the most solid setup of C tiers I've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, Sylvalai, proven to be, honestly, goated. Fourgeist and Vaporeon, both very solid. Hoopa Confined is the only sort of weird one, but I think we've even seen this, not in a regular season, but in an off-season. And it's got that special side for days.
Yeah.
It just has a really bad typing.
Yeah, it has a bad typing, but its special defense, special attack are so high.
Yeah, I think overall this team strikes as just a really solid team overall. There's nothing fancy here. I don't think there's like anything, like no particular gimmicks outside of the Annihilate Mousehold, but I don't think it needs any. I think this is just solid standard.
Yeah, one definitely notable thing is that there's no fake out here.
Ooh, that is a good point. So I guess if you are coming in and fighting the Ape University, keep that in mind that he cannot fake you out. I didn't actually realize that.
Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks of drafting Annihilate.
Oh yeah, is you've taken your fighting type, but you do not get a fake out. You were struggling.
Holy crap! That. So many fake out users are fighting type, and fighting is not a type you want to double up on in this kind of league.
Very true. Anything else, or shall we move on to the next one?
I think that looks pretty good. I think Heatran's going to be like the king of this team.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. All right, moving on to post structure with Laureli. I don't know about Roaring Moon or Roaring Moon Terra. I just don't know enough about this Pokemon to give a thought on that.
So I've mostly seen Terra Roaring Moon in singles, where it just picks an attack and it kills everything that is neutral to that attack.
That's a good thing to do. I mean, how do you... So this, I think this is the first, and I think this is one of 3 or 4 examples in this season of a Terra Captain that was chosen that is a higher tier than it is normally. So yes. Can you give a little bit of insight as to what makes Post really benefit from this as a Terra Captain versus just drafting it as an A tier?
I think the big thing about Roaring Moon is that it tears so well into so many types. It tears amazingly into Steel. It tears amazingly into Dark Dragon. Dragon in particular allows you to run the loaded dice Dragon Scale Shot set. That's what it is. Woof. That's what the move's called. Which will continuously boost its speed. So, I mean, it's really, really good. And the other type that it runs very, very well is Flying, because booster energy gets consumed.
Oh, so you
and
get
it has access to acrobatics. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, other than the Roaring Moon, I think this team is a very, very strong sort of bulky offense core.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced the Clefable is necessary here. How do you feel about the Clefable?
I might have taken...
Bad. Yeah?
I might have taken a different fairy type, but it's hard for me to ever say that Clefable is suboptimal because it always just rises to the top.
Sure, I didn't necessarily mean it's a bad pick here. I think for how early it was drafted, I think there were some other options for this pick here. I think the Entei, honestly, arguably much more important than the Clefable.
Yeah, I think Entei is just an incredible threat.
Yeah. One thing I will personally note here, this is for both for Post and for the people fighting Post. I ran into this issue last season, bulky offense where most of your threats are physical. We got the Roaring Moon, we got the Ursaluna, we got the Entei. Just be wary of Intimidate and Burn.
Yeah, definitely.
Learn from my mistakes, please.
Yeah, but I mean, he does have his burn counter in the new toy that we haven't talked about, Ursaluna.
Ursaluna? Oh, true. Yeah, that you don't want to deal with that with the guts. That is a yikes moment.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about bringing Burn Will-O-Wisp to Fight Post, always got to be careful about that Ursaluna switch in, because it'll just come in and it'll just kill.
This is true, yeah. Yeah, I think Megavinu also just... Ursaluna Megavinu is so nice because both of them offer some bulk, but then especially Megavinu has just been defined as the king of stall, sort of, ironically,
in a way.
TDD. So just having that as a switch in for... Yeah, like the switch in for your Will-O-Wisps, switch in for, you know, eating attacks with Megavinu. Blastoise obviously just has some insane supportive potential that we consistently see every season.
Yeah.
The C tiers, I'm kind of like mid here. I think Drifblim obviously is very, you know, very nice sometimes. Copperage is great. Hitmonlee is pretty one note. I don't know much about Bellibolt.
Bellibolt is one of the tankier C tiers. It's got a very, very high base HP. It's, I think, a little over 100, which is pretty good. It's hard for me to say it's good. It's kind of like a water electric type. It's just not actually water.
Yeah. Alrighty.
But, yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to Furret, the Pack Up Squad. I'm seeing this season a lot of, I'm getting deja vu with a lot of these. Got the Darkrai Victini, obviously Darkrai Victini, just look no further than season 2. Even if you are not using the Victory Star synergy here, these two are just so threatening together.
Yeah, just as attackers.
Don't fucking sleep on Victini. Don't do it. It is so threatening. That shit got so many kills in season 2. Araquanid hella slaps Espathra. I don't know how good Espathra is in doubles with or without the Terra, so I can't talk to that.
I think it's... So the thing about Espathra is that... I don't know how to say this exactly, but it's not good without a Terra. It is extremely Terra reliant.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's so one note and it relies on that one turn of mystery to like get itself going.
I see.
But even once it gets going in a league like this where you know Espathra's coming, I feel like it's a little difficult to run it.
Fair enough. I will say, I think I've seen this not necessarily issue with a lot of teams, but I've noticed this with a lot of teams this season. I feel like there's more bulk in the higher tiers than I'm used to. More bulk and support. I think Furt actually has a very good sort of balance of offense versus defensive presence in the top tiers. You really have Corviknight and Araquanid, I guess, sort of as that main sort of switch-in core, and then just Darkrai and Victini and Espathra and Raikou are all much better at sort of going in, and I think that's a nice balance.
Yeah.
I am just going to be brutally honest. I think this C-tier lineup kind of sucks.
Toadscruel is interesting. It's been seen like once or twice in VGC. I don't know.
With the exception of Darkspun, I don't think any of these are bad on their own, but I truly don't see how they bring anything to this team.
I guess Diggersby kind of synergizes with Espathra because it becomes so fast and you kind of need like a priority user next to it, but Diggersby is not that good of a priority user either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so for folks fighting Pack Up Squad, the main note I would give is don't fucking sleep on that Victini. Like, you're gonna like see that Darkrai, you're gonna see that S tier and be like, I need to deal with that. You're gonna see the Victory Star bonus and you're gonna be like, I need to deal with sleep. Victini can just go straight for attacks and fuck you up.
Yeah, Victini, while only having 100 base in its attacks, it gets ridiculously strong moves.
Yep. Okie doke, let's move on to Peanut Scratch's Kingpin. This is an interesting team because it sort of feels to me like it changed gears halfway through in what it was trying to be, which I think is maybe a Peanut Scratch special at this point. But I think King Gambit as a first pick, very, very strong here. And when I see that, I think, obviously if you want to make use of its, what is its new ability, Supreme Commander, you want to have sort of this more hyper-offensive, more allowing more kills to happen. But then he paired it up with just, like, a bunch of tanks.
Well, some tanks. A lot of his tanks are in the B tier, C tier kind of range.
I guess so, that's fair.
Like Rayquaza, Thundurus, huge attacking presences. Saraledge kind of goes either way, but usually because it's not Terra, it's not going to be very tanky. But Thundurus as a Terra captain is interesting to me because he mentioned this to me and I was like, what? Thundurus? And then I like kind of looked at it. I'm like, wait, no, this is good.
What Terra types do you think it benefits from the most?
Definitely flying. Because, well, it doesn't have flying stab normally. Terra Blast gives its flying stab, and being a pure flying type with Volt Absorb is pretty good.
Oh, that is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, similar to Terra Water defensively, having Volt Absorb always super good.
Yeah, I think the main thing with going pure flying on that thing is people are obviously already bringing ice against Rayquaza.
Yeah.
So you do have to watch out for that. But King Gambit does offer some nice bulk against ice-type moves, which is nice. And Milotic, obviously. P2, good lord, this thing always, every season.
Yep.
That's all I really got. Any advice for people going against this guy?
Well, no Intimidate, so no Redirection.
That's big.
Slowbro G is a liability.
Oof. Hit him where it hurts.
I just hate that Pokemon. I don't think it's good.
Okay.
I mean, I love him. He's very cute, but I think he's bad. And really, it's kind of like he's got so many breakers that what you do is you just have to go first. Like I think speed control is exceptionally important against him.
What speed control does Peanut have access to? He obviously has some Trick Room, but I don't really think he wants to use that in most cases. Does he have Tailwind anywhere?
Yeah, Rabombi and Rayquaza.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's there. I think winning out on speed control is probably a good way to go here. I think you're right about that. Alrighty, let's take a look at who let her cook. High Day's team this season. High Day being our what's the word I'm looking for? Veteran. Venturin. They're Venturin. So let's talk about this team. I don't know what it fucking does, I'll be honest.
Well, first off, new Mon, new mechanic, it's Terra and Amorous.
Yeah, I don't know shit about an Amorous. I assume it's annoying. That's mainly what I went like. I just don't understand this thing.
It's the 4th genie, it has Contrary, and it has Cute Charm.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, all of the genies get superpower, so an Amorous can take advantage of that. But it's not exactly a physical attacker. It's definitely more special suited.
Right. Does it have any moves that can benefit from special contrary?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I guess we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, the Terra allows it to run as like a pretty good flex attacker. Even if it takes like a little bit of time to kind of get your physical attack amped up. But yeah.
How do you feel about the A's and B's here?
I feel like there's 2 genies.
There sure is.
And I feel like that's not a bad thing because, I mean, Tornadus Eye, Prankster Tailwind, it's always been a menace.
I think in this case, like, even though these are 2 like flying types, I think they're, and even if they're from like the same quartet, they do different enough things that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they do share a lot of moves, which is maybe not the best, but they also have pretty varied movesets anyway, so it's whatever.
Yeah, the one thing that really stuck out to me on this team is just what a threat Tauros Aqua breed is.
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really nice C tier pickup.
Everyone's favorite Tauros Paldea Aqua.
Yes. The Swampert, I think these water types are really nice. Revavroom bad, I think.
Revavroom has like shift gear.
Nah.
And that's the whole Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't want to focus too much on C tiers. These are obviously not like the core of the team or anything. But I just...
Yeah, we haven't talked about B tiers, which I think Hydeas are pretty threatening.
Okay.
The tried and true Raichu, we've seen that
great
for a while.
Yeah. I think it's been
Follow
drafted
Me,
since
Fake
season
Out.
4. Yeah.
Has some of the best moves in the game. Follow Me, Fake Out, Nuzzle. Mega Beedrill hasn't been seen in a while.
Season 2, I believe, was the last time.
Yeah. So that's interesting. It's very, very fast. Very, very fast. One of those blazing fast Pokemon. And then the new toy, Baxcalibur.
Don't know shit about that either. I know it's got a terrible typing.
It does have a terrible typing, but it's the first physical dragon Pokemon to get a good physical dragon move.
Oh, well, there you go.
Besides Dragapult, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okie doke. So going against Hyde here, what is the plan?
I don't know. It's a very standard team. It's like it's got all the checkboxes for checkbox drafting.
All right, very solid. Let's move into the Unqrillables with Math Geek. So this is pretty clearly electric terrain team. Doesn't have too much variance on that front. It does have a lot of things weak to electric though for an electric terrain team.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, so this could, if Math isn't careful, that could absolutely be used against him. Pretty easily, all things considered. We can talk about all these Pokemon. I gotta say, Sigilif, my boy, I would recommend him to anybody. Sigilif is a fantastic C tier. I don't think it's a good C tier here. This thing offers so much like strange roll compression. It's not the best at anything, but it can do so much. But when you have a team with Murkrow and Staraptor and Mega Slowbro, it doesn't do anything else. It's just not a good pick here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. The only like really electric switch in on this whole team is Iron Hands.
Yeah, and I guess Bundle after it's Terra, but even then, it's not like it's bulky.
Yeah, Bundle is not a switch in.
Yeah, Bundle's not a switch in, Blacephalon's not a switch in, and like everything else is just straight up weak to electric.
Don't get me wrong, everything here hits really hard.
Yeah.
But it's definitely lacking a defensive backbone. It lacks redirection. A lot of teams lack redirection. There's only so many redirection mons. I honestly think if I were drafting this team, I would have Terra'd Coco.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think Bundle, like, Terra, the Terra, does it really benefit offensively? I guess you just get more damage, but like...
It gets more damage on its stabs, but it really doesn't have anything other than its stabs.
Yeah, it doesn't need coverage. Like, it doesn't benefit from other types, I think.
Yeah, Freeze Dry Hydro Pump kind of covers everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Another Tauros here. I think the Fire one probably would have been better here than the Combat. I'm surprised to see Tauros probably a combat
one. Yeah. The pure fighting one.
Interesting.
That's definitely the one I thought wouldn't see a draft.
I think overall this team, it has some potential if Math can keep up the tempo of the match, just maintain a very, very strong sort of offensive pressure. But as soon as that goes down, as soon as Math is on the back foot, I think anyone else who is properly prepped for electric terrain to benefit from electric terrain is just able to rush through so many of these switch-ins.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's get into NetGem with the Persians of Alola. This is our only weather team this season. Crazy, and it's sand.
Yeah, in the craziest sun team ever is on the table, and nobody took it.
Everyone assumes someone else would take sun, and then no one did. Very cool. obviously, I think Tyranitar Terra is just a brilliant pick here. Just really, really nice on that.
Yeah, you'd love to have Terra Tyranitar.
Yeah, tell me about Mega Diancie here, because this is kind of a bit of a strange pick here. I don't think it's a bad pick, it's not something I was expecting.
I think it's just a standard rock type and sand. It's a great attacker. It's got good defenses just naturally. And getting that +1 Spadef from the Sandstorm, I think just really solidifies it, especially if it's spamming, Diamond Storm. It's going to be really tanky, and it's going to hit really hard.
Okay. I think the real winners of this team are the triple B tier threats. Frankly, all of them do the same thing. This is the same roll 3 times, but it doesn't fucking matter. These are so threatening.
Same roll, different types.
It's so good. I mean, as someone going against Ned, you do not want to be in a position where Ned, it's a 2v2 that you've gotten down there and you got Draco Houndstone in the back. You're done.
Yeah.
You've lost. That is a lost con for you, my friend.
Yep.
It's
the one thing that kind of pops out to me here is that, first of all, holy Trick Room week.
True.
Yeah. It's very, very weak to Trick Room. If Trick Room goes up, I don't want to say it's game, but Ned's going to have to play around stalling out Trick Room very, very well.
What, does Ned have any taunters here? Are there any options on avoiding that?
Persian I'm sure gets
probably
it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is good because it's a fast Pokemon.
I was gonna say, Ned, don't kill me for this, but Persian's not that good. But I get it. Drafting for the which
you need your mascot.
Yeah, the mascot. I've been there. Yeah. Earthworm here. Not as many ground weaknesses as I would have assumed for a sand team.
Yeah, it's really just Diancie and Excadrill, because I'm assuming T-Tar won't be weak to ground.
Yep. Alrighty. Okay, I think that is good. Let's move on to the tax auditors with Eggplaying joining the Timer Ball division this season. Obviously got some pretty big names to be going up against. What do you feel about this team?
This was definitely one of the weird ones as I looked over. First of all, you see Terra Necrozma, and you're like, okay, well, I guess the world is your oyster.
I don't know how to prep into that. Terra Necrozma is just okay, cool. Guess I'll die. All right.
He has a thing that could be anything.
Yeah, it's dangerous like that. Necrozma, obviously one of those Pokemon that has been bumped up thanks to fucking Prism Armor.
Yeah.
I think it's so nice as an A tier in. It's one of those Pokemon that you just really can't predict as a Terra Captain at all. I don't think you can predict it normally, but at least you know it's typing. Now you don't even know that.
Yeah.
I think he's got a really nice mix of offense and support in his higher tiers. He's got the Indeedee and the Audino, which I think both offer that nice supportive presence. And then Shaman, Necrozma, Brute Bonnet, I think are all very, very good attackers.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about having 2 of your best attackers being grass types.
I think there's a lot of shared weaknesses up here. You have a shared ice, shared fire. There's a couple of dangerous things here, especially because grass is just not a good defensive type.
It's not the worst in that it resists ground, which is a big one, but yeah, other than that. So clearly a lot of cores were kind of filled out in C tier, which is always hard.
Yeah, because you need something that actually does,
especially when you're running so low on slots that you need that Sliggoo Hisui becomes the clear best pick. It's rough, but I also think Mega Audino can cover for a lot of those weaknesses.
This is true. I also think Barbaricle's low-key not bad.
I think it's decent. Yeah.
I think it definitely struggles defensively, but I think that's fine. You throw a scarf on this thing or something, and You just need to... Barbaracle is that Pokemon that's there to kill a very specific thing, and if it does that and dies, it's done its job.
Yeah, pretty much.
So going into Egg, I mean, it's hard to give recommendations when you got this Terra Necrozma here, but I think it really comes down to taking advantage of the fact that both Shaman and Brute Bonnet are grass types. Zoroark, honestly, don't think is that huge of a concern. Obviously, the 3 immunities is really nice, but it's not really immunities that anything else is weak to. Like, obviously, you don't want to close combat into a Brute Bonnet only to find out it's a Zoroark, but like when Typhlosion is weak to Dark, and Indeedee is weak to Dark.
The scariest thing to do with Zoroark is to turn it into Necrozma, and now you have no idea what it's gonna do.
That is terrifying. You're correct. That's a whole ass jump scare in my TDD.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Alrighty, let us move on to the Racchi family. This is OJ back once again. Jirachi, I was talking about Mega Salamence having a troubled history. This is the Pokemon with the troubled history.
Which is insane.
Jirachi somehow, despite being maybe one of the most versatile Pokemon in our format, somehow ends up being at the bottom of the leaderboards every single time. I definitely think it has potential. I think OJ's got an uphill battle in giving it that redemption arc. But Hydreigon Terra is one of the best A-tier captains in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
So that is insane. I think Hydreigon offering such a nice offensive presence, Screamtail offering such a nice supportive presence, I think this will give Jirachi a chance to really actually do something for once.
Yeah, Screamtail has some crazy things you can do with really specific EVs and booster energy.
Okay.
It can be like the fastest support in the world while almost all of your EVs are in defense.
That is fucking stupid. I'm here for
Yeah.
it.
And then OJ is also sporting the extremely controversial Dozogiri.
Dozogiri, the whale in the room. I think Dozogiri has a lot riding on it this season, obviously. There's a lot of discussions about it. I think...
It's controversial. I think it's bad. A lot of other people think it's broken.
I think Dozo on its own is a really, really solid B tier. I think needing to also bring Tatsugiri to a match and having a third of your team be Dozogiri is kind of a dangerous trap. I think it ends up, if you're not super prepared, end up being more of a loss con than a win con.
Yeah, especially if you put yourself into a bad situation with it and you get hazed. It's like, all right, your opponent is now going to set up and destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, it might take a while to get Dozo off the field, but once it's gone, everything's gone.
I think I would not be surprised if we saw some matches this season where Dozo just came alone. I think having the Tatsugiri there as a switch up absolutely works. People have to prep for it. That is true. People absolutely need to be ready for Dozogiri, but I don't think it's that hard to prep for.
Yeah, something that complements Dozo very well, I think, is Wo-Chien.
I was gonna say Wo-Chien's fucking weird.
It complements Dondozo, but it's really weird.
I have some notes here for every team, and for Racchi Family, one of my notes is just Wo-Chien with like question marks. Like,
yeah.
Tell me about this. Why is it compliment Dozogiri? Or not?
I mean, it's
Dozo.
It's kind of just like the perfect iteration of a water grass defense on the front of your team.
Which one does Tablets of Ruin drop? Is it special attack?
Oh gosh, no, it's got to be physical.
Physical attack because Tinglu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which means it is dropping Dozo's attack, but like whatever. Dozo's mainly there to be a tank.
Yeah, these C tiers, I don't think they don't stand out to me. Tatsugiri, obviously we've discussed. Grafaiai, it is a prankster user. I don't think it gets that many good moves with prankster.
Grafaiai is a pretty weird prankster user, yeah.
Pawmot obviously does not have access to Revival
Blessing. That is banned here.
Yeah, it is still a decent sort of physical threat with the Iron Fist, but it's like a C tier physical threat. It's absolutely not higher than that. And Piloswine, I know OJ at one point was saying like, oh, Piloswine's such a weird pick. I think Piloswine's a perfectly fine pick.
I like Piloswine.
I think Piloswine's fucking good. Like, I think this is a solid B tier, C tier.
I think when you realize that you're in C tier and you don't have a ground type, Piloswine is a good one.
Yeah. So honestly, like, I know, yeah, OJ was sort of questioning themselves on this pick. I think it's solid. Alrighty.
I mean, I get questioning. It's an NFE, but I think it's one of the better NFEs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to prep and the OJ, I mean, being aware of that Dozogiri, being aware of the threat, bring Haze. Just, if Dozogiri comes in, here's the thing. If OJ's got Dozogiri and you're not ready for it, you are losing the match. But if you are ready for it, it's in your favor. The match is in your favor.
Yeah, I think one of the best parts about this team is that it's not Dozogiri reliant.
Yes, I think that's very important. I think, yeah, Jirachi Hydreigon, so important. Samurott, we didn't even talk about Samurott, but I think Ceaseless Edge alongside Sharpness is kind of good.
Yeah, Scarf Samurott, it may not be like that fast, but it's gonna poke holes in teams very easily.
Mm-hmm.
With stuff like Razor Shell, Ceaseless Edge, Aqua Cutter, I think it gets. Yeah, it's doing damage. Sharpness is a great ability.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into Ghost BuzzTing. My first note on this one is just fuck Tinglu 10 times.
Yeah, obviously.
Fuck Tinglu.
Hate that. Hate that.
One thing about this team, so this is another team where we've got a Terra captain who's been tiered up. It's the S tier Buzzwole.
Yeah. This
team is weird to me in that it really only has like two really like major offensive threats. It has Buzzwole and it has Megalodios. And everything else I feel like is more of a support.
In a way, yeah.
I think that's weird. I think it works just because Buzzwole and Latios are so strong that like just having these other four as pivots, having the Slowking, the Weezing, the Scrafty, the Tinglu all there to just sort of disrupt the other person works really well. But like if you can just somehow just you are not one-shotting a Terra Buzzwole. Like, I am sorry, it is not happening. But if you somehow manage to just like catch Meteor Bower off guard and kill one of these two threats like instantly, I don't know what he does.
Yeah, I mean, that said, you are like, you can't prep around killing Buzzwole.
No. you cannot prep around Terra Buzzwole. There's nothing you can do about that.
Like putting Tinglu and Buzzwole next to each other, Buzzwole's unkillable.
Oh Jesus, it sure is, man. Scovillain, fucking primo C tier, just absolutely goated. Got drafted surprisingly early.
Yeah, very early.
Honestly worth though. I don't really know what the Rotom Frost or Aerodactyl do here. Aerodactyl obviously offers some nice Tailwind support. Scrafty, always a really good support mon. Slowking has chilling reception. Like, honestly, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think all Aerodactyl's point is to be resident fast.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you just need to outspeed that.
Because, once again, Steven's constructed a team that has a speed problem.
Does it?
I think so.
Megalodios is pretty quick.
Yeah, it is.
Everything else is slow, though, you're right.
But there's a lot that outspeeds 110.
How the hell is Tinkaton 94? What?
Tinkaton's stat spread makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Like, none.
Its attack and special attack are almost the same, and they're both lower than its speed? What?
Yep.
Why is its defense so low compared to its special? I don't understand this thing. Do you have any suggestions for any poor soul that has to fight this guy?
Well, at least he doesn't redirect.
At least. Alrighty. Let's talk about...
But no, it's a rough team. Yeah.
Let's talk about Whiskey Tattoo. Whiskey's got Whiskey's crew. Honestly, Incin, Comfey, we've seen that. I think we have seen that exact duo in the past before. It's strong. Comfey just does its role arguably the best of any Pokemon. And Instant also just really good at its own role. I'm not even sure it's the best anymore, but it's all reliable. Mega Blastoise, seen a couple of times, very strong here. I'm a bit concerned about this Deoxys pick.
Deoxys is weird here, right?
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. Is I think Deoxys, especially as a Terra Captain, works so well into that sort of like fire and forget type of team. But this team is really focused on switches.
Yeah, this team is very bulky. This team, like Deoxys, is a mix-up in this team.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna go like poorly necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Because, you could have Mega Blastoise and Deoxys next to each other.
Oh yeah, that's spooky for sure.
Yeah, and I mean Terra Psychic Psycho Boost is killing anything.
Pretty
anything.
Much. Anything. Yeah, not a dark type, but yeah.
It might kill a dark type.
Just trick the ring target. It's fine. No, but I do think, yeah, because like I look at the rest of this team and I'm like, this team has some staying power, and then I look at Deoxys and I'm like, hold up.
Yeah, Deoxys is the damage.
It's true.
Like, where else is the damage? Maybe Mega Blastoise.
Maybe Mega Blastoise. Maybe Mence, yeah.
But like, yeah, the damage is Deoxys. I don't know what this team does if Deoxys goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Which you typically expect to happen.
Yeah, right? It happens, if not the first turn, the second.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing is Dio is really good about being pivoted out because of how many great pivots this team has, but like,
But it has to stay in to attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe Pursuit? I don't know. Screw this guy up with Pursuit. On it,
Yeah.
Dio. Can't switch out. Get boomed. Dead. Or just Quick Attack,
Yeah, Quick Attack does kill from most things.
Yeah. Unless Terra Ghost, baby.
Yeah, which, I mean, I think is a very good Terra for Dio.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it's immune to Fake Out for one.
Mm-hmm.
But you are missing out on a lot of damage from Terra Psychic, and, yeah.
Alrighty. Any final thoughts on this team, or shall we move on?
Yeah, this team, I mean, we didn't talk about C tiers at all, but I don't know what to make of these C tiers.
I mean, I think Vileplume and Galvantula are both very good on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Combined with the rest of the team, I think it is more Vileplume, especially in how we've seen it play out a couple of seasons in the past. I think it's just very nice on balance. Galvantula, very nice pivot. This, you know what this feels a lot like to me? This feels a lot like the season 3 team Swingers that was just all based around pivots. This feels like a very pivoty team, and also Deoxys.
Yeah.
And Golurk, we've never seen Golurk. We had a thing on it. What do you call them? Not a recap, whatever, the video. We did that. Yeah. Spotlight, thank you. So, I mean, it's got a couple of unique strategies. I think it's one of those C tiers that works very well, and it's not an anchor. There are some anchor C tiers, like Delmise, for example. He's an anchor. But I think Golurk is...
Thank you.
Golurk is... It has a few gimmicks, right? Like, it has 1 or 2 or 3 viable sets that you, like, can run, and it's a nice mix-up in that sense. It's still a C tier. It's not something anybody's going to prep for, but it is something somebody needs to be looking at when they see it on Team Preview. Wordeer, I honestly have no clue. I can't speak to Wordeer.
I'm lost on Wordeer. I don't know what it does.
Cool. All right, we're on the same page. Let's talk about Help, which is Crow's team. I mean, this is the Trick Room one, right?
This is Trick Room Hyper Offense if I've ever seen it.
This is Trick Room. So yeah, watch out, Ned. Watch out. I think there was one other one we talked about, but yeah. I will say once again, Mega Ampharos being your only special attacker, which is a C tier, is putting a lot on its shoulders.
It is rough, but it is a really good special attacker.
I know that, but I'm just saying, the same issue. This is me looking back at my previous season where this was basically my team. Just the Glastrier, the Melmetal, the Barraskewda. Just watch out. Watch out for those Intimidates. Amoonguss, I mean, generally very nice. Glastrier is another one of those. It used to be S tier, now it's A tier, but it's still an S tier as a Terra Captain. I think one thing that Kotard has done very well here is prepared for not having Trick Room up, right?
Yeah, seeing the Barraskewda, the Talonflame, it seems weird when your team is Trick Room, but I like it.
I think it works great. You basically have those two modes. You probably don't want both of those modes active on the same comp, but it provides you a lot of sort of preparation advantage.
Yeah, and Talonflame can always be like, surprise, it's Tailwind.
Yeah, surprise, it's a Tailwind moment. Yeah. Mimikyu, I think, is kind of a mid Trick Room setter.
I think it's good as a setter. I think it's not that good as a Mon.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
as a setter, I mean, you can't Oko it.
You kind of can. You just got to double target it.
Yeah, it requires a double target. Yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah. That's the big thing about it.
I think I'm going to go ahead and I think award Kotard Crow with best C tier picks of the season.
Hype Null.
I love these. I mean, I think altogether they may, like, I think Type Null kind of steps on a lot of the toes that, like, I think Alomomola and Runerigus have here.
I like Type Null. I've considered drafting Type Null several times.
Mm-hmm. No, but
sure. It's a weird one.
Yeah. I just think that the roles here are maybe stepping on each other's toes a bit, but I think just in general, these four, I think Alomomola, really some unsung potential there as a C tier. Runerigus, fucking tried and true, and Mega Ampharos we've seen very good. I am worried of how hard this Mega Ampharos does have to carry the special side of this team, but other than that, I think very, very nice combo here in those four. And then obviously Glastrier Metal is just kind of an insane offensive combo in the top tiers.
Yeah.
All right. Any, I mean, I was going to say any notes on, for other folks, I think not letting the Trick Room go up in a lot of chances. I think a lot of the prep you're doing here is on, what is it called? Team preview?
Yeah.
Like, I think you're looking at team preview and you're saying, okay, what is Kotard's plan this round and how am I dealing with that? Because it does have these two modes of the team. It sucks at trying to do both. Like, it is one or the other. And so you just need to figure out which it is and screw that one up. And then Kotard's kind of just in a really bad spot.
Yeah, but you always want either a Barraskewda or a Talonflame on your Trick Room teams even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
because they'll do work.
Yeah, tiers up for like 4 turns. Alrighty, let us get... That is it for Quick Ball. Let us get into the last 2 timers. We've got Card Wizards with Diggory. And Great Tusk.
Yeah, Terra Great Tusk.
Terra Great Tusk.
I love it.
The other thing I note is that Tapu Fini Whimsicott is the shit that nightmares are made out of.
Yeah, Diggory has had Tapu Fini many times.
I mean, I guess bring poison, but seriously, Fini Whimsicott, I hate that. I will say, this team feels, maybe I'm wrong about this and I don't have a good sense of it, this team feels just like an incredible balance team. Like, I think in terms of, like, balance composition, this is it.
Yeah, no, this is a good balance team.
I mean, Great Tusk, especially with the Terra, just offers so much offensive presence. Finny, very nice defensive. Latias really
so much defensive presence too.
Yeah, seriously. Chandelure by Sharp, very, very strong sweepers when they need to be. The C tiers here, I think Delmai's really, really strong. Salazzle, I think, as proven, can definitely be a really, really, really nice Pokemon. Regigigas is weirdly in TDD been drafted 3 times. I don't know why. I know why, but it's just very strange to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's no wheezing here. There's no... Man, if I was just having a giggle one day, I would trick an ability shield to Regigigas.
Cool.
so no one can take his ability away.
That's the weird thing, is I built a team around removing its ability. Egg built a team around, like, just sort of dealing with its inability. Egg didn't even, like, really build around Regigigas, but basically had a few moments. I'm not sure what it does here. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's part of the defensive core.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. It's kind of weird for a defensive core, but sure, why not? Yeah, I just think in terms of balance, you really, I don't. What is your recommendation for dealing with this team? Because frankly, I don't know.
Taking advantage of, I guess. Oof. I mean, there's no redirection, which is not that big of an issue when you have Whimsicott. There's kind of a set amount of strong attackers that, like, once you get rid of, the team is not that scary.
This is true, yeah. I also
Like,
think there's some struggles with Trick Room as well.
I wouldn't call Finny, like, ignorable, but if it's Finny Great Tusk, I think you know who to attack.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this team benefits a lot from Tailwind. I think it kind of struggles. I think the B tiers especially really struggle in Trick Room.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. Okie doke. I guess let's move on to... Oh, who is this? I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah, the last two members of the draft are
Of the DK crew.
are the co-creators. We got put at the end this time.
Gudra Hisui takes up so much fucking room on this team. It's the entire room is just him. You have so much. You have a dangerous amount of offensive pressure, and then you just have Gudra. Like, Gudra is your defensive core, and that's all you need, baby. I guess Tangrowth, sure.
Tangrowth is there too.
Tangrowth's there too, but baby, Gudra, baby.
Yeah, I think this time my S and A and B, they went hard. They simply went hard this time.
Yeah, I will say, I think I mentioned this a few times with the other teams, there were some concerns about teams stacking non-offensive Pokemon in their higher tiers, and in some cases relying on C tiers to be the damage. I think this is the way to go, right? Like, you get one or two really, really, really good defensive or supportive Mons up there, and then everything else is just damage. Because I think you run into that issue a lot, where if you're focused too much on pivoting or focused too much on stalling, if the enemy just kills those one or two Pokemon that do all the damage, you're out of ways to win.
Yeah, but I do always have that nice little Absol in the back.
That is true. You do have that Absol in the back. No one else has that Absol. You also have that Glalie, baby. Dude,
Glalie is gonna make someone rage quit.
It's gonna be me. It's fine. All right, yeah, no. Any advice on beating you?
Well, we haven't even talked about Landorus, dude.
Oh, true. It is right.
Terra Landorus is horrifying. Especially with its new move, its spread special ground move with a secondary effect that's base 100 power.
So good.
It doesn't matter what the secondary effect is, it's going away, but you know, that turns into more damage.
Sure does.
Yeah. Gudra Hisui, as we said, the Giga Tank, the Fortress.
It's not Fortress, that's a lower tier Pokemon.
I know, but he's Fortress, like not Fortress. True. It's Fortress.
Didn't you already have a Pokemon named that?
I hope not.
I think you did. I'll have to go check. We have a nickname stock.
Yeah. I've never felt so standard than picking these BGs. I've never felt more standard.
I mean, it works. It's fine. All of these Pokemon have been drafted before. This is the first time we're seeing them all, like, together as one. Actually, Arcanine. No, Arcanine was drafted last season. Yeah. I remember because it hurt me with Burnout many times. Yeah, I just think it's standard. I think it works really well. This is a solid team. I don't know what to do against you. Other than cry.
Give me Iron Ball.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll make sure to do that. Just bring Fling on Sneasler. I'm sure it gets that, right?
It does.
Cool. Just fling that iron ball back at me. It's fine. Alrighty. Okay, into the last team. CP Sentinels is the one and only. In case it was not clear, I'm not trying to keep secrets, because it's not a very well kept secret. This is pure hyper offense. Everything here wants to kill. It just wants to kill. My defensive cores are non-existent here. My defensive anchor is Goldengo.
Yeah.
That is it. I have Goldengo, I have War Turtle, technically. And Cloyster, maybe, I guess. But, like, it is so weird to have Goldengo, which is this Pokemon that is in current VGC, I think, thought of as, like, a burster, like, just a make it rain or a very, very strong special attacker. When that is my most defensive Pokemon, something is up. I am notably limited in my physical attack. I have Iron Valiant and... I don't know. Oyster. Yeah, pretty much. So maybe I went too hard in the other direction on the metronome last season. I got absolutely fucked by only having physical attackers. Maybe the opposite thing will happen this season.
Maybe, but you also have Mr. Beads of Ruin.
I do have Mr. Beads of Ruin. It's pretty nuts. I think going against me, Trick Room.
Trick Room's one way to do it. But honestly, it's not going to work every time.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you have something that does not die to something I do, I am screwed, because a lot of this team relies on just murdering, and if you make it harder for me to murder, I don't really have an answer.
But that's not true. You have screens. You have suicide screens.
I have suicide screens. Even so, yeah, I think the Iron Jugulus, the Terra Iron Jugulus here is not a pick I would recommend in general. I think it works decently here because I do have electric terrain. It offers me some very nice speed control. It offers me, obviously I already have Dark and Chi-Yu, but it's just some pretty good stabs.
The next best thing, perhaps in hindsight, Goldengo would have been a better Terra, but I think Iron Jugulus is a very close second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think originally I was intending for my Terra Captain to be A tier, but then when it got to me and I realized that both of the Pokemon I wanted in A tier were up, I just grabbed both of them, because I was totally expecting at least one of them would be gone, and I would just replace the other one with a Terra. But then that didn't happen. I was like, okay, Jugulus, I guess. I think Sandy Shock's kind of gonna be a flop, I guess. I don't know, just a weak link of this team.
It might be.
Yeah. I just drafted it because I wanted to use it. I don't actually know how useful it's gonna be. And then Smeargle, of course. I think Smeargle is a can of worms, of course. There's a lot it can do. There's very little it can do well. But I do think one of the things it does well is allow a team that wants to kill better.
Yeah.
Which is something I want to do. So be wary of that if you're fighting me. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, and that's all any of us got, because that's the final team.
Dude, it's less than an hour long.
Wow.
We're balling. Remember the last ones were like 18 hours long? That was crazy, dude. Just crazy.
We didn't sleep.
Subathon, baby.
Yeah.
We should do a TDD subathon. Do you think we would get anything? Probably not. It would be funny, though.
Well, how would you even do that?
I don't know what a subathon is. I just said it. All I know is subathons mean people do record for hours on end.
Yes.
Which is what we do in TDD. Anyways, with that being said, this has been the overview. Next week, we will be starting week 1. Very much looking forward to it. We've got a lot of new faces here. I'm really hoping some folks decide to stick around. Maybe next season we'll have a big mix-up in terms of how Timer Ball looks, because Timer Ball's been pretty consistent the past couple seasons, so I'm really excited to see how Quick plays out this season. But that being said, that is everybody's teams. Hopefully this was useful. If not, at least hopefully it was entertaining. I know that my anchor joke was hilarious, so at least
it was really good.
That. Thank you. But with that, we have now settled the Dozogiri debate forever. No one will ever talk about Dozogiri for the next 7 to 8 weeks ever again. because we said everything that needed to be said. And with that, goodbye. I've been Technovoid, this has been Hamsterwings, and we will see you with the Week 1 recap after it happens, and we have all won or lost matches for one reason or another. Goodbye!
Bye.